6 o'clock. I'm off work. Hey, everybody. Hey, cool. Some familiar faces here. Hey, Zane. ZZ Aim. Puppet Dude. Wow, I didn't expect people to come this much. This is my first time opening up on Instagram with a live stream. I've done about 3 of these so far, just all on TikTok. So this is my first Instagram one. And, you know, I'm fairly new to it. But I definitely like to, you know, meet up with some of my followers and answer questions and talk animation, do anything you guys are interested in hearing about. I love your posts. You're a great animator. Thank you. I appreciate it. I love animation. It's my favorite. Tiago, what's up? Itty Bitty Buffy, hey, what's up? Wow, miss you at Leica. Aw, that's awesome to hear, you know, like I definitely, I miss you guys too, for sure. Definitely the right project will definitely be quite a temptation. Is that my office? Yeah, this is where I do my CG work every day on these computers here. And this is where I get all my inspiration when I come in here and I draw or I sculpt or CG animate. Oh, thanks for the Coraline collection. I have a ton of collector stuff in the stop motion world. So I'm going to one by one. I'm already starting on TikTok, but going through and talking a little bit about the collectible and, you know, what it comes from in film and how it inspired me and why, you know, why this room is chock full of all this stuff, because it makes me want to animate and reminds me of how, you know, how much I was inspired as a kid having those, you know, watching those films and watching these creatures come to life and characters. Hey. Right on. Yeah, so I'm so curious, you know, so many people that follow me are not always in the arts or animation related. They're just interested in maybe some of the stuff I post, or you know, I don't know, somehow come across some of my time lapses or something like that. It's a pretty broad community of people that kind of bounce around and check out my stuff. So I'm really interested in who here tonight is actually involved in animation or art or filmmaking or anything along those lines. Do I work at Leica? Right now I work at a studio called Blizzard Entertainment, and I actually work in CG animation right now. So I just do my stop motion is all happening in the garage with me and my wife's filmmaking that we do on our own, or just fun stuff I do as I just scratch that itch of being a stop motion animator as well as a CG animator. Am I doing any extensive animation classes? Yeah, I do. I teach privately every week. I have students that I work with on Zoom for 12-week classes, and we meet twice a week. And I teach stop motion, I teach CG, whatever the people 2D want to learn. I teach animation basically privately. Puppet Dude, hey, I was just wondering if you could show us what you're working on for your stop motion videos. You mean, like, in which way? Like, I have lots of things. I've been recently working with a bunch of He-Man toys, Motu stuff from the 80s, because I was a huge fan, and I wanted to make a film pretty short. So me and my wife put together a film in about less than 8 weeks. A 2-minute film, and I also wanted to get experience with toys, Toymation, right? Because so many of there's a huge audience on the internet for Toymation stuff, and I work mainly with puppets, so I was like, I gotta figure out what it's like to animate toys so I can talk about it on my channel, maybe do some tutorials, and then also one of my #1 toys as a kid was He-Man. So I'm like, if I'm going to animate toys, I'm going to animate He-Man because that's my favorite. But if I could show you, the only thing I have going right now is the He-Man stuff in the garage. I can take you guys down there and show you a little tour of the garage in a little bit. You can see the set that me and my wife and daughter made, and you know, like just kind of the layout of where we create everything. Anything that gets made, it gets made downstairs in the garage. Hey Justin, hey Benny, what's up, man? Mau Clavel, hey, hello, Rabbi, hello, hello Brazil. I hear from a lot of Brazilians on TikTok, so it's awesome. It's about this time on Fridays. It's great to see. King Duke, hey man. And this, woo, I still got to figure out how to use when I'm scrolling. Korean students, stop motion. I'm learning a lot from my work. Hey, thank you, ZZ Aim. That's awesome. You know, I work with a lot of Korean guys, and one of my buddies, I wonder if you're going to school in America or are you going in Korea? But one of my best buddies I worked with was a Korean guy. He came out here to America to go to school, and he went to SCAD, School of Art and Design in Savannah. And it was he learned some stop motion there. And they actually put out some people that have been professional and gone into the business. Hey, from Mexico, what's up, Mau Clavel? It's so cool to see how many people are all over the world. Hey, Senscape, RK Nobre, hello. Wow, I don't know what that is. Mexico, what's up? That'd be awesome, because yeah, that's a rockin' workspace. Yeah, I'll definitely take you guys down there. My upstairs studio is, like I said, this is where I do post work or my CG animation or 2D stuff. Sculpting, I sculpt in here too. But the garage is where all the magic happens, the big magic. That's when they come to life. Hey Benny, oh that's cool with the Coraline puzzle. Perfect timing then, huh? Hey, from Indonesia, Mandala Rizki. Mandala Rizki. Hey, that's cool, Indonesia. Yeah, that's awesome. When you see how far-reaching animation is too, it's so cool. What's going on? Okay, What's going on? Love your work. Play Motu. Hey, I love your game, man. The pixel stuff with He-Man is freaking awesome. That's like, man, I don't know how big He-Man is as a fan base these days, but wow, I can't imagine you not being able to sell that thing. That is rad. It looks so good. The pixel art looks awesome on that. Jessica, hey! I work with Jessica at Blizzard. She's an artist there. So cool to see you. Hey, thanks for stopping by. You want to work at Leica when you grow up? Looks like such a fun place with amazing artists. It's super amazing. The talent there is through the roof in every department. They just have the best of the best. It's amazing. So it's top of the mountain for sure, and should be definitely a goal, I think, on any stop motion person's list. Thank you, Itty Bitty. That's cool that they're following. That's awesome. I appreciate the support very much. It's kind of mind-blowing how this social media stuff works and how powerful it is. I've talked about it many times on my TikTok, but like I feel so old-fashioned, and I was really resistant to get online with social media, and it's been amazing to do it. The stuff that's coming to me, the opportunities, the mixing of social mixing, everything is so amazing that I wish I had done it a lot earlier. It's pretty powerful stuff. You're animating to start short film, Cessna. That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, making short films is amazing. I've made, I'm 7 short films since college. I'm 46 now, and I graduated at 20, something like that. So it's been a long time, but I've made a lot of short films, and it is crazy hard and crazy rewarding. It feels so good to tell your own stories, and to push through all of the problems that come with filmmaking and making shorts and get to the finish line. It's really quite special. Have I done work for television? Yeah, I've worked in TV, I've worked in film, I've worked in video games for 24 years, 25 now maybe even. I've been around a long time. So I've touched it all. Want to be working as a front-end developer right now. Oh, that's cool. You're a programmer. My son, one of my sons, my oldest son, is a back-end developer, and it's a really good business. He lives in Boston and programs for some big studio or big company. Do I sculpt in ZBrush? I actually don't. I will someday, but I don't. I sculpt with clay. That's where I sculpt, or Super Sculpey, or Van Aken, anything that I can find that's real stuff. ZBrush, like, I'm sure I would love it. Everybody's told me I would love it, but I haven't given it time because I'm so focused on animation and CG that I don't even mess with it, because I want to be as best as I can in what I do, which is CG animation. And then if I'm not animating there, I'm doing everything in the real world with my puppets and my three-dimensional stop motion artwork and stuff like that. Hey Tomba, what's up? Love your work. It's great to see your claymation, man. It's really inspiring, especially because when I was getting into starting my first claymation, which was that werewolf, I kind of looked at all the other claymation out there and I was like, okay, what are these guys doing? So I'd have just a little bit of a picture before I started. What's up, Cyber? I just started making a game. That's as close as I've got to really animating something. Dream for doing. Play Motu, man. You're onto something really cool there. Telling you that game, like, I can't imagine anyone who loved He-Man as a kid would jump at a chance to play a cool pixel art side scroller with He-Man. It's amazing. I think you're super onto something. Lila Zeki! Lisa! Oh, you lighting me up. What's up? Oh, man, Lisa. She was a friend of mine back in college, Pittsburgh, when I was a teenage man boy. So awesome. Really good friend from a long time ago. That is one of the few people I've stayed in touch with, even in the most easy like pictures way, but it's I never forgot you. Really, really cool to see you and your daughter growing up, and you still look like you're just as fun as you used to be. So it's awesome. I'm so happy to see you. Your little name there, at least. Jessica Drew, y'all need any puppet costumes assistant? Ooh, wow! From you, that would be amazing. Jessica makes incredible costume. Jess Drew. Go check her stuff out. She takes photographs with these really amazing fantasy photographs with all these amazing costumes, and it's freaking rad. And right now, Jessica, I've typically avoided clothing because I don't know how to sew. Plain and simple. I can do some really basic sewing, but I've never really got into it enough, and I was always afraid too, because it's just one more element in stop motion that'll wiggle around while I'm touching it. So I would always sculpt on my clothing and then just do little minor additions for the cloth to just keep a steady puppet. But wow, having access to someone like you, that's pretty cool. I will think about that for my future projects. Thank you for that offer. That's amazing. I like you because I think you work hard. I definitely work hard. I like people who work with love, and I'm very passionate. Just so you know, like the way it works here is in CG, 9 to 5, that's what I do, right? So if I want to make films in stop motion, or I want to do any artwork outside of work, my 9 to 5, I have to sacrifice sleep, right? Or I have to sacrifice hours, and that's really hard to do unless you're passionate and disciplined. So I definitely will work hard, but I definitely love it too. So it's a special magic that I can't get anywhere else. How's Blizzard treating you? Tell everyone I said hey. Alon, what's up? Another person. Blizzard's treat me awesome, man. I'm directing now. I actually recently left animation and I'm directing, which has been a huge goal of mine forever. So I'm actually heading up my first short that is not stop motion, and it's really different. And I really miss animation, of course, but Blizzard treats us amazing. It's the best place I've ever worked. I say it all the time, but it's the best place I've ever worked, for sure. Hope you're well, Alon. How do I do this? Oh, I'm pressing buttons again. Are you still in San Francisco? I will tell everyone you said hi too, through Zooms and stuff. Blizzard. I do some music videos and some short clip projects. Oh, that's cool. Awesome. Yeah, that's creative people doing creative stuff. It's always inspiring. That's one of the coolest things about Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and all that is I'm seeing, like, I don't go on there for politics. I don't go on there for anything but artwork and community, and it's really inspiring. And if I'm tired sometimes, just clicking through some of my fellow artists' stuff, and I'm like, yeah, it's fired up. Let's get in the garage. What was my first animation work? I mean, you're talking a long time ago. I don't know. I don't even remember. I think my first animation work was like bouncing balls in college, like real animation work. I did stuff on like kind of pixel animation back before I went to art school. When it was, the 80s basically, but there wasn't really any true animation programs yet. I did some like flip books. I did tons of flip books when I was young for my first ones, but like I'd say art school was when I really started animating. I went to Art Institute of Pittsburgh, and I was in a majority of my education was in 2D, and then I had a couple of quarters where I learned CG or some CG programs, and then that's how I got into the business. Hey Emerson, like amazing. Say hello to Brasilia. Hello Brazil. So happy you're here. Which program do I work? I use Maya for CG, and I use a program called Dragon Frame for stop motion. And Dragon Frame, all it does is it allows you to play back your frames. I mean, it'll do all kinds of stuff, but what I use it for is playing back my frames, flipping back and forth so you can see your frames you came from, where you're going to, and outputting movies and stuff like that. Is that a video game company? Yeah, Blizzard is a video game company. They make World of Warcraft, StarCraft, Hearthstone, Overwatch, a bunch of games. They make a ton of stuff. Heroes of the Storm, and all kinds of new Diablo. How do I fit Diablo? All animators at Blizzards are ninjas like you. Oh, well, I don't know if I'm a ninja, but no, they are not all ninjas, I would say. That's one of those special things that I have over, not over, but it's just a gift. It's a specialty that I have that I'm very grateful for. But there's a lot of active people. You don't have to be a ninja to be an animator at all. That's something sometimes people, when they see me bouncing around or doing stunts and stuff, they're like, do I have to do that? No, you don't have to do that at all. Most people don't have anything like that they do. Animation is a craft, and you learn it. And there's so much access to reference videos on YouTube and stuff like that nowadays. It doesn't matter if you move. You can find stuff and kind of piece it together if you need to get more information for how things move. God dang it. I keep trying to scroll the words of all the people that are asking questions. Which program do I work? All animators are Blizzard Ninjas. Nope. How can I join one of those workshops? Which ones are you talking about? Like the Blizzard workshops? Or one of my classes? Because my classes I teach privately, so I don't really do group classes for anyone outside of Blizzard. Because it's too much work and I don't have enough time. So I work privately with anyone who's interested in animation. And I'm getting pickier and pickier because my time is very valuable. But I still work with students. I'm a nonfiction film editor with a deep appreciation for stop motion. Awesome. I dabble, but I'm not patient enough to do it seriously. Well, hey, I really appreciate that you love it, or you appreciate it. It's magic. It's the closest thing to magic I've ever come across in my entire career as a human being, right? So bringing real things to life, believably to life, it's amazing. It's hypnotic. It's like it breaks your brain a little bit, but it's really and it takes so much work and effort. There's something really special about it. Love your He-Man stuff. That's how I found you. Awesome. Thank you. Well, the film, me and my wife's short's coming out. By Thanksgiving, we'll be putting it out there. Sorry for the pause. I thought it was going to be up earlier than this, but Mattel is doing the music for it. And we're waiting. We're just waiting for them to deliver it and put it out there. But I'm really glad you like it. I've done pretty much all the characters from Wave 1 of the He-Man Origins figures so far. So I got to get my hands on some other ones to play with too. How do you sign up for my classes? You just email me or chat me here. And usually I look at your stuff and we talk about it. And then we just organize a time and meet on Zoom. And it's all online. Motu was awesome. I agree. I love it. I love Motu very much. There's basically 3 toy lines, maybe 4 when I was a kid, that were super influential, and I loved them so much. And Masters of the Universe, Transformers, Thundercats, G.I. Joe. Like, those are pretty much the big ones when I was a kid. And He-Man, I did it. I'm really excited about it. Transformers, we'll see, maybe. Thundercats, I really want to do Thundercats. G.I. Joe, it's last on the list, but it's still pretty special. I had a lot of fun with those characters. Stoopmaker! That's my sister! Hey! How are you? My sister's here. I'm so happy to see you. Or hear your word texties. Thank you. It's my first Instagram live stream, sis. I'm talking to folks, answering questions. Wow, 2 minutes. I can't wait. Yeah, 2 minutes for the Motu short. There's some live action in there. You'll see. You guys will see. But there's lots of... Basically all the Wave 1 characters. Teela, Man-at-Arms, He-Man, Skeletor, Beastman. They're all going to be doing some dramatic stuff on a really cool set. My daughter actually storyboarded the whole film too. It was her first kind of professional storyboard gig. So it was really awesome. Because she's a young artist too. In cutscenes, do you just... animation or something else like camera positions? 99% is animation, but since the animation and camera staging is pretty important, we do adjust cameras sometimes to make things time better or just be a little influential. There's a little back and forth with the camera people while we're animating, but the majority of it, the camera's delivered to us and then we animate. Saw it 2 was great. Awesome. So glad you liked it. That would be amazing. He-Man is awesome. I agree. Do you have any words or tips, inspiration for someone who wants to work as a stop-motion animator when they grow up? Of course I do. Yeah, like practice. Start clicking. It's easier now than it's ever been, right? So like get your phone or your camera, whatever you have access to, and grab some clay, grab some toys. Awesome toys are out there with tons of mobility. And start clicking. Practice, practice, practice. Grab a book called The Animator Survival Kit and read it and study it and get an idea of what the craft is of animation, what the fundamentals of animation are, and what makes good animation. Start developing your own characters. There's a book called Stop Motion Animated Filmmaking. You can get it on Amazon, and it has really great a roundabout collection of every aspect of stop motion, from puppet building, set building, props, facial animation, body animation, how the programs work, how photography works, lighting works. It covers everything. So go ahead and check that stuff out and study. But practice is really the biggest thing. Just get animating. Put your stuff up on YouTube. Practice, practice, practice. Hey from Brazil. Hey, Justin Wegg, what's up? Fellow animators. Pull behind you when you're ready to take your breath when you sleep. Yes, he does. And you must be from the 80s, my friend. Yes. That little troll dude back there comes out and tries to steal the baby's breath at night. Another one of the many artifacts from and inspirations from my youth that just kind of blew my mind when I saw it. It's from a movie called Cat's Eye with Drew Barrymore. It was kind of an anthology where there was 4 different little shorts that this cat weaves through, a Stephen King film. And the last one, which is the best, this little troll dude comes out and tries to steal the breath from this little girl. And I loved it. Super inspired me. He-Man rules. I agree, Jorge. I agree. That would be cool to see behind the scenes sets. I will take you guys down there. I'll take you guys down there. Hey, Justin. Sour Demons, what's up? Lilo Zeki. Oh, so great. I am so happy you're here. Aw. We got to talk. I'd love to talk to you. Hola. Es muy bueno el material. Es pues genio. Gracias. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Really appreciate it. Saludos. How about Thundercats? Thundercats are cool. I just ran down my top 4 favorite toys from my youth, and Thundercats is high on that list. I would love someone from the Thundercat toy division to contact me. Give me some free toys and say, hey, let's talk. Thank you for liking the Masters of the Universe stuff. I had so much fun. I got to tell you, like, so many people have contacted me and said, you know, hey, Justin, your Masters made me feel like a kid again. And it was so inspiring to see you move them the way I imagined them. And from the beginning, that's what I've been saying is like, I imagine these amazing battles with Skeletor and He-Man and Teela and Man-at-Arms and Beastman and Merman, everyone from the 80s. And I never saw, the battles weren't cool enough in the cartoons. I don't know if anyone else agrees with me, but they were really subdued. And I'm like, let's get some sword fighting. Let's get some pain and hits. And to have an opportunity to actually show some combat and, you know, bring some of my imagination to life. Oh, totally so fulfilling to my little kid heart. Made me so happy and excited. And I wanted to do more. And I would if, so I'm hoping Mattel's like, hey, we really love this. Let's do bajillion of them, right? So then I can create a bunch of them because I'd love to. I'd love to illustrate what's in my brain. Great animation. Thank you, Stop Mo Nerd. Appreciate it. Okay, let's see here. Minnesota here. Hey, player Motu's in Minnesota. Do I do collaborations? I have not done collaborations with hardly anyone till very recently. Me and Shelly do all our own stuff, and it's really just fun to kind of control all our own. But I am now reaching out because I'm doing social media and I'm meeting all these people, and they're offering certain situations, and I'm also trying to build an audience so that I can get my YouTube channel going and really put some educational episodes out. So I'm starting to do, so expect in the future you're going to see some collaborations for sure. I got some really cool stuff happening that will appear maybe even before the end of the year, so keep an eye out. Hi from Montana. Hey, what's up? Cuba! What's up, Cuba? Hey! My computer's going on and off here. Tell us about the pictures on the wall. Oh, those are from a film called Secret of Nim. And the ones over there, the green and the yellowy one, is from a video game called Space Ace, which were really huge inspirations, again, as a kid, as a young animator. And so I have, Secret of Nim. That's the poster from the film where all the cells are. And then, I've got my Dragon's Lair cabinet, and then I got some Dragon's Lair cells over here. That artist Don Bluth, there you can kind of see some cells there. Was a huge artistic inspiration for me, and those films were huge. So you got Jeremy up there, Mrs. Brisby, Nicodemus, the Great Owl. Some of the key, powerful scenes where Nicodemus gets killed. Some awesome stuff. I love it. And then a bunch of statues, of course. Got a bunch of my Cobra Commander, some Overwatch, Mega Man, all kinds of stuff. Hello from Burbank. I love Burbank. A lot of great animation stuff in Burbank. I'll take you guys down to the garage right now too. Do you like the perfection that Leica has made? Oh, that's a touchy spot. I think the stuff is a little too perfect these days. And I respect it tremendously because it's technically really hard to do. But I feel like it's lost a little bit of the charm when it starts looking like a computer instead of handmade. So I prefer a little bit rougher. I'll take Coraline any day of the week over Link, if that's clear. I rewatch that one all the time, and I love how, even though it's not that imperfect, it just looks like stop motion to me. Okay, going downstairs. You should film Thundercats. I should. I definitely should. Thundercats is a huge inspiration. Okay, Tiago. Hey, Tiago, what's up, man? Just taking folks down to the garage. All right, so you see there, that's a miniature set back there for the Motu stuff. And, it's a big, giant garage. There's a lot of room in here for multiple sets. Up there you can see some of the spaceships from Dogonauts back there. Love your He-Man stuff. Thank you. So you can see like it's just a foam set here. Let's talk at the Stop Motion Montreal. Oh, that's awesome. These are just basically toys that I'm animating with the basic joints they have. What I do is I put a bolt in the bottom of their feet so that I can screw them down to the ground. Hey, Lisa, thank you. I'm so glad you like it too. You're from the 80s too. And then so that pretty much that's one of the only modifications I do. If you see like Man-at-Arms here, if you look in the bottom of his foot, I'm able to screw in there with my bolts. And this stuff's all just foam. It's just foam, shaved foam. Let me see here. Hold on a second. Right. So I have these 440 bolts here. And they go into the bottom of the set. So you can see all the screwed holes there. And those go up and attach inside the bottom of the feet. So you can see Tila there. It helps them balance, right? And then gives me some kind of stability as I'm animating. And then outside of that, I just use clay. So I have clay that's the same color as the ground down there. And I'll just squish it into the feet here to kind of stabilize the characters as they're moving around. From Hungary, awesome. That's awesome. You're the first person I've had from Hungary, so that's really great to see. Alon. Love Coraline and Kubo. That's cool. I love, Coraline's my favorite. I love Paranorman. I love Kubo. Box Trolls was fun. And then Link, I wasn't in love with it. It's interesting because I'm super into that subject matter. I love Bigfoot and, you know, interesting, mysterious universe kind of creatures. So I really was excited to work on it. Thank you, Itty Bitty. I have no clue where to start. Go to my channel, Justin Rosh Animation on YouTube, and you will look up the one how to get started in stop motion. Watch that episode. It'll get you started. All right. You go, Gert. Hey, all kinds of folks here. Hey guys, everybody new. Someone from France. Hey. I was just showing people around the studio here. My daughter painted the backdrop there. Shelly, my wife, carved all of this stuff here, and none of the lights are on right now. I could show you too. Everything's kind of hooked up to one light, or one power strip, so that when I turn off the lights when I'm animating, you can see how the lava lights up. And then I use these little side lights here, these little LEDs, to kind of side light, you know, or just I move them around per shot to get a little underlight or a little backlight or whatever per shot. Thanks, Abdel Rahman. Thank you. Very kind. Klaus, hello. Which video games? Which video games what? Did I work on? I worked on a lot of games. I've been doing games for 24, 25 years. Show the yellow thing behind me. The yellow thing. Are you talking about the lava? That's fake lava. It's basically LED lights with some plastic on top of it to create the illusion of lava. Hello from Egypt. Hey, freaking awesome, Egypt. Did I get into gymnastic stuff by studying movement? No, I was a gymnast when I was a kid. When I was a young kid, I was kind of before parkour was a thing, I did parkour. I was like a little stunt kid. I wanted to be a stunt man. And so I always kind of was jumping off buildings and over cars and riding my BMX bike everywhere. And then I actually got some, I joined a gymnastics team and actually learned and competed a little bit. And then I've just carried it on throughout the rest of my life. And I've always been stunty, so I was able to apply it to doing stunt jobs or anything related to animation. Basically, it helped my whole life for movement. And, I built a gymnasium, and I've had kids where I've been training movement to all these years. Could you tell us about the acting work for animators? Yeah, like specifically going into the gym now. This is the latest addition to me and Shelly's household. You see all the monkey bars up there on the rocks? So I work out a lot of choreography in here, and we just play. What am I talking about? We just play in the gymnasium. But this is a big part of our life, as well as as creating movement through these characters. I actually move in real life too. So acting work for animators. Animators are actors, right? We know that. And not everyone is an actor, especially right away. So, while you're learning animation, you're growing a basic understanding of movement first, right? And then you as a performer will bring maybe your specific gifts. Like I have action gifts, right? Like I can do action really well, but also you have to learn to perform. So more like actor, theatrical gifts and stuff like that. And that comes through basically practice and study, self-study. So you watch films, you investigate feelings within yourself, you practice acting to dialogue, or practice acting yourself in any situation, filming yourself and being able to perform. And with practice, you're going to be able to act through these characters. And the cool thing is we have video nowadays, so we're able to, practice, and get a couple of takes, and even combined takes, do all kinds of like Frankenstein stuff to get a kind of performance. And if you're not a great actor when you're first learning, you can record other people that are better at acting than you. But it's definitely a skill that you need to develop as an animator. Always. And you will be. You'll be growing in that skill set your whole life. Any advice on stop mode rigs? Every wire one I make breaks down. Everything in stop motion breaks down. It's the sad part of stop motion is your puppet is constantly dying with every movement you make. I use wire a lot, and it always eventually breaks. When I use armatures, they eventually wear down and need to go to the shop and get tightened up, and they have to cut the puppets or do whatever they got to do. I mean, if you're talking about rigs for support rigs, you just have to use a strong wire, I guess. I don't know. Usually those wires don't get as much wear and tear as like an elbow or a knee or shoulder or something like that. So I don't know if that helps, but just thick enough wire and you should be okay for the rigs. You love the movies? Thank you. I appreciate it. Animation is super fun. I completely agree. From Mexico, hola! Hey! Are you a stunt actor? I have done lots of stunt acting. The most recent stuff I've done was from a film that isn't out yet. It'll come out hopefully next year. Kind of went on pause with COVID and stuff like that, but I don't do a lot of it, but I do it still. Most of the stunt acting I do now is all at work. We shoot reference for all the new shows we have, and I very often am called in to act as in certain roles for battles or fights or even dramatic stuff, So real professional gigs I don't do very often. I used to do motion capture as well, but it's it goes long periods of time because I don't look for those jobs. I'm too busy. But usually, like if I get a call every once in a while for like a cool film or a cool video game mocap or something like that, I'll take it. I'll check it out and go play if my body's okay, because I'm getting older. Have you tried working with silicone? Yeah. The puppets that I did for the Overwatch stuff. If you haven't seen them, I think you've seen them if you've come to my channel, but they're all silicone, and silicone's beautiful. I love it. I wanna Reaper. That's silicone right there. Look how gorgeous he is, right? So I really, really, really love the look, especially dealing with kind of CG characters that I'm bringing to life. Oh, Lisa, bring a tear to my. I'm so proud. Oh, thank you, Lisa. I gotta talk. We're gonna talk soon. Have you tried? Have you tried? Yes. I will check her out. Kubo and Coraline were amazing. I agree. Costumes. Oh my god. Oh yes. Did you check out Jess Drew's costumes? They're amazing. I'm trying to teach myself to run a foam latex puppets. After watching behind the scenes of Dogonauts and Gerald's Last Day, but I'm apprehensive about the process. Of course, it's so scary and overwhelming. And this is one of those things, I kind of call them like they're roadblocks in stop motion where there's 50 million reasons not to do something because it's scary, right? And and it's hard, and you're guaranteed going to fail for a while, and then you get better, and then you get better, and then you do it. So it's just one of those things where you just got to push through being afraid and make it happen. I remember, our first foam latex runs were just, chemistry nightmares of, deformed creatures. There was nothing resembling a puppet. And then it was very similar when we went and took the step to go to silicone. People were advising us forever, like, silicone's a pain in the ass, blah blah blah, it doesn't animate well, all this stuff, and we just went for it because for the Overwatch stuff we had to make something that looked more like that instead of foam, which has a very different look. So you just got to do it, man. You got to fail, and you learn, and you get better, and then you get great. So foam latex is awesome. I love it. Check out my YouTube channel. You'll see a bunch of stuff there on how it was done. I learned through Kathy Zung's DVD on foam latex making way back when I started. And it was the same thing. We just popped it in and one step at a time. Okay, I'm just going to sculpt the character. Okay, I'm going to mold the character. Okay, I'm going to now mix this concoction of ingredients and then put it in an oven, and then you'll get there, I promise. It's scary, but you'll do it. All right. Okay. What about using cloth with wire? Well, yeah. Freaking totally do that too. Stop motion's really hard. I like to shoot on ones. So 24 frames per second. So if you look, this has foil in it, right? And what that does is that allows me to animate, whoosh, the flow of the cape. And the way that is the outside is silicone, and then the inside is like a hard foil. So it's a very similar thing when you're using cloth with wire. But the thing is if the cloth's not tight, if it's not nicely sewn to the puppet, it can get chattery and like wiggle around, right? And then that makes animation look a little sloppy, right? And we're trying to create an illusion of steady quality animation. So I've avoided it, but I'm open to it. Like at Leica, they have these amazing seamstresses and clothing people, so they really know how to make it as good as they can for the animators. Favorite type of animation to work with? Stop motion, for sure. I love CG, love it. Love 2D, love it. Stop motion. It touches my heart more than anything else in animated world. It's magic. It's magic, and it's real, and touches into my little kid imagination of bringing things to life when I played. Except they come to life. That's freaking thrilling, you know. Directing, yes, thank you. It happened. It happened. Set goals. Work really hard, make them happen. Yes, I have a YouTube channel. Go watch the episodes. Justin Rasch, R-A-S-C-H, animation on YouTube. Watch the episodes and spread the word. I'm going to have more and more time to put up more and more tutorials, but I have a ton of stuff on there. I'm trying to build my audience right now. Thank you. Will you do another Tracer and Reaper? I want to really bad. I don't know if you noticed, but since the first one and the second one, I'm trying to add a character every time I do one, right? So the second one, Cookie Watch, I added Doomfist. The first one I had Soldier 76. The next one, I want to add another character. If I can get Blizzard to agree to one, I would be the happiest of happies. So I really want to, and I'm pitching to try to make stuff happen. Love it. All right. Whoa, where'd we go? What is background? I mean, you're graduating. Oh, my background. I went to art school. I graduated in like 96, I think, or 95 or 96. I went to art school, Art Institute of Pittsburgh, and I had a 2D animation background with some special effects knowledge and a little bit of CG knowledge. I learned a program called 3D Studio 4, and that was enough for me with my art portfolio to get into the business. And I got hired by a Japanese game company called Konami, and that was it. That was the end of it, and I was in games and a professional CG animator. Thank you, Easy Bacon. Appreciate it. Do I use onion skin? Nope. Never use it. I don't think most professional animators use onion skin. I think that's a very junior thing. most of us just eyeball it, and that's what I do. I flip like back frame, forward frame, back frame, forward frame. I flip like crazy, like I'm doing paper, right? Flipping paper. And what you do is you feel the flow and you look for the flaws and you fix them and you make sure your arcs are clean. But I do not use dragon skin. I think at a certain point as an animator, you don't. I've never met anyone who does it really, unless it's a specific event. What do you find is the most challenging and enjoyable piece of stop motion? I mean, it's all problem solving. Everything you do is problem solving in stop motion. So it's a huge pain in the butt, but it's kind of, cool when you figure it out and you move beyond and conquer it and improvise. That's what it is. It's the improvisation. You're constantly improvising, and it's really rewarding at the same time. But I think for me, it's just creating weight and physics and feelings and muscle and thought. That and putting that into an inanimate objects like these characters. Woo! I get high as a kite from that. It is very special. What do you find is the most challenging, enjoyable piece of stop motion? Hey, what's up? Another one from Egypt. Hey. Aw, you're so kind. JXST, thank you so much. Will you do another Reaper and Tracer? I want to really badly. Love your work. Can't wait to support your short film. Oh, thanks, Itty Bitty. My Viking short is happening again. And I'll be sculpting this weekend. And Shell's going to start molding one of the characters next week. So it's moving. Do you feel your animation is significantly stronger from acting the choreography myself? In CG, that's where I typically do most video reference. In stop motion, I don't do very much video reference because I don't know. I love the unknown of what I'm creating because there's that high in that too. I do thumbnails in my stop mo a lot, which is little miniature drawings. I choreograph in my head for sure, or with Shelly, my wife. But video reference, I don't really mess with in stop motion that much because stop motion is so different. Nothing matches. Everything changes. Like a puppet can't do what I can do. Spatially, things aren't as similar to the real space that I might work in. Like there's so much that's different that. I prefer to feel the waves and ride the winds in stop motion versus, getting real reference. In CG, I use reference all the time. And most people do, especially working at Blizzard because we work on a pretty high level with especially facial performances and some subtle body stuff that, we're working in CG. You can really capture a lot of that subtlety. So, we use it there, but in stop motion, not so much. But again, like if you watch a Leica film, like this most recent one, it looks like there's people wearing puppet suits half the time. It's way too video referenced for my taste. It just looks so video referenced. It just looks kind of rotoscoped instead of animated. So I way prefer to I'll look at video sometimes though. I will do that just to before I draw my poses. So that's a healthy way I think to do it. To inform you about certain poses that you might not have in your head, or moments that you can write down on your little treasure map. Thank you, Diaronculus. Are you voicing the characters? Very often, someone in our family does. Our Shell's father is an incredible voice actor, preacher. So he has this amazing range for a bunch of different voices. And then me or my wife or my daughter or our friends, we typically cast through them. I have some really funny friends that are excellent at voiceover too, so I can tap into some of them. Fabio, I'm 52 years old and I love your work, the movies you worked on. Thank you. Appreciate it, Fabio. That's awesome. Whoops, did it again. I keep trying to scroll, guys, on these, on the words that are coming up, and it keeps bringing up like I'm trying to type to you guys. Yes, Aiden Storyboards. She wants to be a professional storyboarder. She's going to college in England next year when the world opens back up at an art school up there, and she wants to be a storyboard artist. So yes, remember that. It's very exciting. Another hello from Egypt. Are you rich already, Justin? from my social media rich? No, not yet. Still working on it. But I'm doing well. We're doing okay. My day job pays the bills really well. Thanks. Hope you're well, man. You're up there. I saw you had some kids. All kinds of stuff happening, man. That's awesome. Do I have my own studio? Yes. Me and my wife have a studio, and I work for other studios. So I work for Blizzard, which is a video game CG company, and I do cinematic animation for them. But we have our own studio at the house that my wife runs, and you know, if we want to make anything like our Viking film, we have it go through the studio. You have a friend at Super 7. Ooh, they make Thundercats. Dude, send them my way. Tell them you want... I would kill their Thundercats. I would make the Thundercats the coolest they'd ever seen. Yes, please tell your friends at Super 7. That'd be awesome. Huge fan. Thank you, Colette Mac. Goosebumps. Can't wait to see it. You have a Motu feature, friend? Oh, a Motu feature film? Oh, that'd be amazing. And let me make it like rated, you know, PG at least, so they can do some badass fighting. I want some real punches and kicks and some bruises and consequences in my Motu. Thank you always. Thank you, IsoSmart. Illuminate. Hey, what do you think about this? Can one pursue a career solely in the short film format? No series, no features, no collabs, just independent animated short filmmaking. Sure. These days, you can do anything. And when I say short film format, I mean really short. I mean like, here we are in the internet world where all of these jobs that would never imagine could exist, like unboxing toys or talking about or playing video games and becoming millionaires on this. Absolutely, you should be able to make a whole career out of short films. If you're making short format entertainment, this is the time to do it because you have a huge audience with very short amounts of attention that can eat it up, man, and you can do it. So absolutely, I think so. Absolutely. I'm very interested in that in an animated format myself. Just putting out kind of basically comic strips that are animated with my own characters and my own scenes, and just having those serialized that hopefully can get, you know, gajillions of views and bring in finance. Sick Paranorman poster. Thank you. Working on Paranorman was the first feature film in stop motion I ever did, and it was amazing. Dream come true. So I got it out there right next to Kubo. What was your favorite stop motion film to work on? I think it was Paranorman. Because it was my first, and it was really... I love the designs. I don't know what you guys think, but the designs in Paranorman were gorgeous to me. They were so appealing and so unique and so different. The worlds were so beautiful and off kilter, and I was just like, I was geeking. I was just in geek heaven, looking and being able to have given, you know, the opportunity to bring those characters to life from these amazing artists was, dude, it was amazing. So Paranorman has got my top spot for sure. It was magic, just magic. Can I speak Hindi? No, I use the translator a lot. A lot. When I return all my people that comment, I use that translator like 24/7. So if I'm answering you guys, it's because I'm using the translator. Who painted the backdrop? My daughter painted the backdrop. And yes, it is fabric. Your set is amazing. What is your favorite stop motion film that you worked on? Paranorman. I'll say that one again. Paranorman. Kubo was amazing too. I don't want to diss Kubo. It was magic. But Paranorman was my favorite. Yep. Painted it. Thank you for respecting the hobby. It's so fun. You know, Illuminate Osiris. It feels. I feel so grateful that I get to do what I do, this weird thing, and make a living at it. You know, I feel super grateful. I'm so inspired, and I love what I do. So I appreciate the support. Would you ever animate any fight scene from anime? Yeah, my kids love anime. My boys, they're all old now. They're 28, 29, but yeah, of course I would animate some fights from anime. Anime has the best fights. I just need to get someone to give me time or pay me or send me stuff to do it, because I'm a busy dude. I got family, full-time job, and filmmaking and social media, all the things I'm trying to do. So I have to be really picky about the things I do like that, because that takes time. But I absolutely, Dragon Ball Z was huge to my sons. They loved it. They loved it. They would freak out if I did it. From Ontario, from Japan. Hey, do you plan out your screw holes? No, never. I always screw as I go. Just as I go. That's it. You never know where the foot's going to go till it gets there. And, you know, I flow through my animation. I don't hit marks because it stifles you. So I'll always drill as I go. Hey, from Mexico City. How long did it take you to do the video for the gram? Which one? I don't know which one you're talking about. Yeah, if it's animations, you know, it can be days, it can be weeks. If it's, you know, hey, I'm working in the garage tonight, that's just, 30 seconds. So, what about Fantastic Mr. Fox? That's my wife's favorite stop motion film. I thought it was super charming. Not my style, but I thought it was super charming. And there was parts of it I really loved. But it wasn't my style. I prefer a little bit more of a finished design. Not necessarily smoother, but just, I don't know, just a different kind of design style that I enjoy than that. Love the LEDs, yellow thing from upstairs. The yellow thing was from upstairs. Oh, I don't know what the yellow thing was. Maybe it was Coraline back there. It's Coraline in her raincoat. Wow, this is cool. Awesome workspace. Thank you. Do you have dimples? Yeah, I do. They've been with me a long time. My whole family has dimples. Dad passed them down to me and the girls. All the kids got them. Although they're covered up with my beard now. I love your He-Man clips. Will you make a longer animation of those? I made a 2-minute film, short. It's going to be coming out by Thanksgiving. So I did what I could. And it's a lot of work, guys. So I've been doing those other little tests to kind of keep people hyped up for seeing the real short when it comes out. Thank you. Talk about your tattoos. I'll talk about those some other time. People are always asking me about my tattoos. Come back another time and we'll talk about them. I promise. How did you do the smoke effect for him? Witch's cotton. It's basically black cotton that you get at a Halloween store, and you know how they make spider's web at Halloween, where you kind of tease out the cotton a little bit. So Shelly ordered me some black witch's cotton, and I just teased it out and put it on some wire and sculpted it frame by frame to make Reaper smoke. And it was just an idea, a test, and it freaking worked awesome. And it was magic, and it was problem solving. everything that, I talk about stop motion being amazing for, it was right there. It's just like, I don't know how we're going to do this. Let's figure it out. I don't know how we're going to do tracers blink. We got some tube. We got some LEDs. Let's see what we do. And we made it happen. Bonjour. And it was magic. I'm really, really happy about how it came out. And from Colombia, hey, buenos dias. That was the coolest garage ever. Wait till you see it next year when it's full of our next project. It's going to look amazing. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Andres. Are there any good artistic cinematic with the stop motion in Europe? Would you consider them? If you're talking about like stop motion films in Europe, yeah. I mean, you have, Aardman's there. There's a couple of, there was a film in Poland. There was, of course, when Tim Burton makes films, it's almost always I think, Twin Mills or something like that in England, where he did Corpse Bride, he did Frankenweenie. Like, those are typically done in England, and I would work for any of those studios. They're amazing. And again, to work for Tim Burton someday, I mean, come on, that's a dream, right? Like, for anyone who loved his art over these years and his films. So he's definitely been a big supporter of stop motion over the years. I love your tutorials. They have helped me a lot. Your Battle Cat test was awesome. Now I want to animate something with 4 legs. Oh, that's cool. I'm so glad people like that Battle Cat because it was so hard to animate. That toy is not meant for animation, but I was such a huge fan of Battle Cat. Battle Cat was my favorite. When He-Man was on Battle Cat, I was just like, this is the coolest. This is the coolest. So I had to make that happen, and I want to do more. My first imagination for the He-Man intro, what I was going to do, had Battle Cat, and it had Panther and Skeletor, and a mounted battle that was going to be amazing. So I don't know how I'm going to illustrate that someday, but it has to happen. It has to happen. On the Wes Anderson movies. I think Wes Anderson's doing stop motion is freaking awesome. It's awesome. Isle of Dogs was really great. I really like that one. And I like the textures, right? Like in CG, it all tastes like sugar. It's like sugar. I'm getting diabetes and everything's so perfect and it looks so clean and it all tastes the same. I don't know how else to say it. It tastes the same. And me as a person who likes to eat Italian food and Japanese food and Thai food and American food and all the different yummy foods all over the world, I don't want to always have the same meal, and CG all tastes the same. So when you get something like Wes Anderson doing a film that looks and tastes that different, I am so happy to eat a different meal and have something unique to watch, because I don't get 2D that much anymore. Stop motion's fairly rare. Again, like I said, that's one of the reasons I'm so not into how Leica's been pushing stop motion to look so much more like CG, because it's starting to taste like, why'd you put so much sugar on this meal? We had a great meal here and now you sugarized it. And now it tastes exactly like that over there and like that over there. So I prefer different meals, if that makes any sense. Which character would you want to add? Oops. Sorry. Oh, next time to the Overwatch short? Oh, this is, you're talking dreams here. So, Winston. I really want to animate Winston. Let me see. I'm sorry, I hit the button on this again. I got to figure out how to get out of this dang thing. Okay, here we go. Which character? I want to add Winston. And I want to do Widow. And I want to do, there's a few that, people, I get a lot of requests from people. They want to see Diva, and I'm like, how do I animate Diva? She's this giant mech. I don't even know how I'm going to make that puppet. Like, it's such a monstrous undertaking. But, I would, of course, do it. Like, if enough people were interested and Blizzard said it's okay, we'd figure it out. But Winston is huge for me. Widow is pretty huge for me. I definitely want to get 76 in there some more too. Like I really liked him from the original game. And then, Reinhardt would be cool. Mercy. There's a few. I got a few that I would really enjoy. But Winston, number one pick to answer that question. Missed the word opportunities. Your videos are really cool. Thank you. Hey, SW Black, what's up? Love your stuff, man. Really fantastic. You really built something special there and really unique with the figures and the way you're photographing them. I love it. I really hope, man, that somebody from Hasbro calls me someday because I want to animate some of that stuff. Where's he reading those comments? I'm getting comments from like a scrolling words here. I learned something new from each of your videos. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Yeah, I love the photography, man. I wish I could get some of that stuff in my own work because, I'm going to hire a DP to come in here and make stuff look gorgeous so I can just focus on animation. Click the box with questions on it. Ooh, okay. Thanks for that. Let me see. Okay, clicking the box. Now what happens? What are your thoughts on it? Oh boy, I just found like 20 questions. Okay, what are your thoughts on interpolation, upscaling, DANAP? Oh, I don't like it. I don't like it. I'm seeing it all over the place. It makes crappy animation acceptable and it feels cheap. I get it because, it takes a lot of work. It's hard to make quality animation. But, so I think it's a really cool technology. I'm not going to diss the technology. I went and checked it out on Kickstarter or whatever it is, GoFundMe or something, I don't remember, but it just feels like I see it a mile away. It just makes things look a little plasticky. And I don't know. So maybe I'm a snob because I'm doing it, the real way, I guess, is what I would call it, instead of having a computer soften my work. But, I prefer not. I prefer it to be real because there's people out there that don't know animation. They're like, wow, you're a great animator, amazing. And it's like, no, they're not a good animator. That's a program interpolating their work. So that's what I feel about it. Questions. Let me go back. Okay. What inspired you to do stop motion? Also, you want to do stop motion for a career. Awesome. What inspired me was Ray Harryhausen movies. Clash of the Titans, Jason and the Argonauts, Star Wars, RoboCop, like movies from the 80s. I was so into creature films, all growing up, creature features with stop motion, dinosaurs, Valley of Guanji, like Willow, The Thing, any awesome 80s creature effects a lot of times would have stop motion in them, and Gremlins, like all that kind of stuff really made me want to do what I want to do, fall in love with stop motion. So, and I think it's awesome that you want to do it for a career too. Okay, let me see a question. Did I work on Shadowlands? I sure did. I animated for Shadowlands, and you'll see stuff showing up on my Instagrams and on my TikToks and all of that very soon. I hope you guys enjoy it. The animation came out sick. It looks awesome. Instagram struggles with my 15 frames per second clips. What is your go-to standard? 24 frames per second always. I always work at 24. I love film. My work looks clean and quality, and I just prefer that. I'll work on 12 frames per second sometimes, but 90% of the time I do 24 frames per second. Corpse Bride, thumbs up. I like Corpse Bride a lot. I think the music is not that great, but the quality of the film is really good. I enjoy it. Nightmare Before Christmas, is so awesome. It's the #1 stop motion film ever. Music is amazing. So I was really disappointed in the music of Corpse Bride. But overall, the quality I thought was really great. And I still go back and watch it, and I think it's beautiful. Very well done. Are you worried about true stop motion art dying? Not at all. It's bigger than ever. People don't understand this. It is larger. There is more of it being done now than ever in the history of the world. There's more studios. There's more places for it. Like, social media has so much stop motion on it all the time. In ads, in commercial work, in movies, television. It's everywhere. There's so many shows. There's so many, little series, on Amazon, on Netflix, on Hulu. It's bigger than ever. And there's how many features being made right now for Netflix? 3 for Netflix alone. Alien Xmas, Wendell and Wild, Pinocchio. Leica's making films. Aardman's they got 2 films coming out. This is bigger than ever. I'm not afraid of it dying at all. It's huge. All right, let's see here. How do you feel about bringing toys life? I feel it's magic. Magic. That's the only word for it. Magic. Magic. It's amazing. It makes me high. I don't do drugs. I've never done drugs. It makes me high as a kite when I successfully bring a toy or a puppet to life. High as a kite. Is it possible to do slow motion effects in stop motion or speed motion effects like in movies? Yeah, it's just really hard. It's just really, really hard. But yeah, totally. I've seen slow motion animated many times. It takes a long time and it's really challenging. So I don't want to do it. Would you consider doing a stop motion course? I do. I teach every week. I taught someone this morning. I teach privately right here at my desk in the mornings, twice a week. And I take on private students, pretty much every 12 weeks. I have a new course that comes on. So yes, I teach. Let's see. Did you work on the new Call of Duty? No, thank goodness. I did not. Call of Duties are all motion capture mainly. I don't do motion capture animation. I do motion capture acting, but I do hand-keyed animation. So, since I work for Blizzard, I work on World of Warcraft. I work on Hearthstone. I work on Diablo. All of their games. Call of Duty is an Activision game from a different company, so I don't really mess with that at all. And which video games? I think this person is asking me what games I've worked on. I've worked on so many games. Everything from Blizzard now you can say I've worked on, except StarCraft. I didn't touch StarCraft yet. In my career I've done Ratchet and Clank, Jak and Daxter. I did motion capture for Uncharted. I worked on PlayStation All-Stars. I worked on True Crime 1, True Crime 2, Shrek, Vigilante 8 1, Vigilante 8 2, Spawn. I mean, so many games. I don't even remember. I've worked on so many games. I've been doing this a long time. At many studios. And that's just, there's some I've just touched too. I haven't worked directly on, but maybe I've done cinematics for or something like that. Thoughts on Henry Selick? Henry's an original. He's a true original. He is, stop motion people are weird. For anyone who doesn't know this, stop motion people are really oddballs. We play with dolls, buying curtains, and we obsess, and we do little intricate crafty things, and we can really focus, and often we're introverted, and we maybe, are shy. Like this doesn't seem like it to you guys, I'm sure, but I'm super shy. I'm very open when talking about things I love, but I'm super shy in a public situation. And Henry's one of us. He's a stop motion animator guy. And so he's really an interesting human being. And I appreciate what he's done very much. And I got to work with him a little bit on Wendell and Wild very shortly. And He was very cool to me, and he really is doing something unique, which I really appreciate because, that sugar comment I made earlier about CG, all feeling like sugar or one meal you're eating every day. He cares about doing something unique, and so Coraline is special. Nightmare Before Christmas was special. They were really special films, and he's making this new one, Wendell and Wild, with Key and Peele, who are hysterically awesome. And it looks really different. And I appreciate that. It does not look how you're thinking it's going to look. And he made that decision of who was going to do the character designs and who was going to do the concepts. And it's going to look like something you haven't seen before and taste different. So I'm super appreciative of Henry. I'm super appreciative of what he brings to this world and our animation. Is there any good resources for free courses I can use for better stop motion? I don't know about free courses, man, but I tell anyone who wants to learn stop motion, you don't have to go to school. All the information you need is free online. And it takes discipline and it takes study, self-study, but it's all there. I went to message boards for years, stopmotionanimation.com, and I just read and I put up work and I shared and I asked questions. And then all these books appeared. And then, you dig around, and now you guys have YouTube. You have YouTube, and you have every tutorial on earth on there, and all you have to do is type in a search engine and you find out how to make an armature and all these things. It's it's really up to you, and you can all you have to do is get a book. You'll find some books like the one I said, Stop Motion Filmmaking, on Amazon or whatever, and you're gonna have, it's up to you at that point to go and take the next step. But you can come to my channel because I'll be putting up tutorials. It's really important to have very detailed animatic to have a smooth production. I believe so, yes. 100%. I think you should never start a production until you have a clean animatic that you absolutely, your story's there. That's all you need to know what you're going to get at the end. The rest of it's all polish, and it's all, the pretty colors. But really, your story should be able to be told all in a 2D animatic, and then the rest just makes it better. So absolutely believe in animatic before starting your production. Okay, how do you find the Quay brothers works? I think they're really unique, really interesting, a little grotesque sometimes, and uncomfortable, but really unique. And I'm glad they're out there, and I'm glad another flavor and another visual concept. Not my style again. I grew up liking American 2D animation, and I liked some of the darker stuff, but I have an aesthetic that's a little bit different than the Quay brothers, and it kind of made me uncomfortable, of course, but I really appreciate it. What's that on my head? That is a tattoo. That's a tattoo. Let's see here. Do you know Goldie's personally? What is Goldie's personally? Do you know Goldie's personally? I don't know what Goldie's is. Goldie's. I don't know what that is. Sorry. Goldie's personally. Do you guys have 2D animated before you start stop motion? No. Stop motion, we don't do 2D animation. Sometimes before they start creating shapes for facial performances, a 2D animator who's also a stop motion animator, who's also just a great artist, will do 2D exploration of facial animation at Leica. And that's really beautiful because you get a really fleshy, yummy look before they start making the shapes in CG to be printed out. But really, there's not much 2D outside of storyboards in stop motion. We block all our stuff out with the puppets, and then we rehearse it all on twos with the puppets, and then we shoot our hero shots after that for our final. How many kids do you have? I have 3 children, except they're men. My boys are 29, 28. My daughter's 18. And all of them have touched our projects, all of them. My oldest and my youngest were artists. My oldest went into programming, so he no longer really does art that much. He does some comic stuff for fun. But my daughter is headed towards storyboard art. She's a full-on artist, going to go to art school. And she's helped, like they all have helped, on almost all of our projects. But she just storyboarded the He-Man project. That was her first pro full storyboard. Really proud of her. She did an awesome job. Does it hard to become an animator? Yeah, sure. It's like anything. Hard work. That's how you get anywhere or anything, good at anything. It takes a lot of hard work. But it's all doable. And, if you love it and you want it, go for it. It's magic. It's an awesome way to make a living, I gotta say. Also make stop motion. Okay, it says Goldies also make stop motion, but you should check them out. Yeah, I don't know who that is. I'll look it up. I guess I'll look it up on Instagram after this. Goldies. I'll have to check it out. Thanks for the tip. Would you make a stop motion animation for Brawl Stars for Supercell? If someone wanted to contact me from one of these companies and say, hey, here's some money, go make something with our toy or our project, of course I would do it. But I can't do it for free. I work way too hard and have way too little time to give away, free animation like that. So if they wanted to hire me, I absolutely would do work for Brawl Stars. It's a cool looking game for sure. Do I do parkour? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I've been a gymnast and a mover for a long time. I do a lot of sports, and martial arts and gymnastics is one of my favorite. Parkour is one of my favorites. So yeah, I've been doing that for years and years and years. And I definitely play. We have a gymnasium we built just to play in and do parkour. I have no idea what time it is, guys, either. I should check. Let me see here. Would you like to make animate a wrestling match? Yeah, I love wrestling. In fact, my middle son, who I talked about just a little bit, is a huge wrestling fan, and he actually did some pro wrestling. So I would love to do some wrestling animation too. It's super fun. Wrestling is a big part of how I grew up in the 80s, so I have a lot of love for that stuff. And all right, so I only got a couple more questions left, and I got to go get some dinner. Who are some all-star animation colleagues of yours we should follow? Man, not a lot of people are on social media that do stop motion. There's Kevin Perry, of course, but he's got a bajillion followers. Probably everybody here already follows him. My best friend from the business is Andy Bailey, and he has a flipbook site on YouTube, which is all 2D flipbooks, animation, and he's awesome. So go follow him. But for stop motion, there's a toy figure animator that I have become a fan of, and a friend, DGX, Sean Galloway, is a 2D artist that I like a lot. Sorry, I popped off there for a second. I was going to go find someone. Yeah, but I think that's about it. That's all I got right now. What's your secret to looking? Well, I don't look so young tonight. I got a nice shiner from my daughter on my face. I stay active. That's huge. I think the rest is luck. I try to not get sunburned anymore. That might help me out. But I grew up in Florida, so I got pretty burnt up for many years. And I'm of Irish heritage, so I shouldn't do that anymore. But otherwise, doing what you love and exercising. Those two things will get you there probably, or help. Do you know any good books or courses for set design? I don't know actually any books for set design. I've never looked into it. I just kind of learned it by doing it. I just kind of made it up. but I'm positive there's some miniature building stuff for like train set people. And but again, if you just go online and you dig around, I'm positive YouTube has tutorials, and I'm positive like stopmotionanimation.com. That's where I would go in when I was doing my first set stuff. And then here's the coolest thing about stop motion. You just make it up. You just make it up. Like, you're like, how do I make this? I don't know. Get an idea and lay a cloth over a barrel. Who knows? Like, you know, every answer is the right answer in stop motion. That's one of the things I love about it. Okay. Why does everyone think there's going to be Coraline 2? I don't know. Maybe because it's such a beloved film. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen. That seems kind of weird to me too. Very unlikely. Very unlikely. All right, guys, I'm getting there. Is there any way I can understand human movements better? Yes. Study. Animation, you know, guys, like, people just think it's easy and you whim through it. It's hard work too. It's not just having fun. There's lots of failure and lots of study. Like, I literally, everywhere I go, I'm studying. I'm sitting on a bench watching people move, and I'm taking notes in my brain. I'm watching myself. I'm watching movies. I'm watching cartoons. I'm framing through animation constantly. You're studying, and that's how you will improve those skills. Doing the movement, getting out of your chair. I tell people that all the time. Get out of your chair and feel it in your body, how the movement is, and it will translate better to your figures that you're animating. All right, last question, guys. All right. What do I look for in a good storyboard artist? Woo! Knowledge of film, right? You need a basic film knowledge to understand what works, what doesn't work, how shots flow, in your storytelling. Creative angles is always, of course, cool, but it doesn't have to be all super creative either. Like, just a basic functioning storytelling, good compositions, knowledge of where you're placing the characters on screen direction, where you want people to look, the kind of feelings you want them to have, powerful, weak, alone, loved, whatever part of the story you're trying to project. And you don't have to be an amazing draftsman either to be a great storyboard artist, but you have to be clear in what you're creating. So I hope that works for information. So hey guys, this was my first Instagram live stream. Went an hour and a half. I can't even believe it. Thank you for everybody coming. I appreciate it. Please go to my channel, Justin Rosh Animation on YouTube. Subscribe, follow my TikTok, Justin Rosh. Look me up there. Any of the support I really appreciate. I'm going to be doing all kinds of new tutorials. I have all kinds of projects brewing constantly. And I really appreciate the support. And hopefully I'll be back. I'll do live stream here or on TikTok, typically every other Friday or so, to answer questions and to connect with you guys. So I appreciate it. And if I missed any questions, hit me up next time. Sorry. So that's it. Wow, how do I even get out of here? End. All right, later.